Hi beauty fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. I am going to do a get ready with me of all the goodies, or almost all the goodies I got from the Sephora VIB sale about, coming up on 2-3 weeks ago. I don't have any makeup today. I have a bare face and it's actually looking pretty okay. It's pretty decent for just skincare on my face, but I wanted to try on all the goodies I have today. So if you're interested in hanging out with me and doing a get ready with me, then keep watching. Remember to subscribe below, and then commenting and liking below helps out engagement on my channel. I appreciate you so very much. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, then good to see you and thanks for coming back and hanging out with me. All the details of the makeup and products I'm using are down below in the description box. My closest foundation shades are also listed below. With that out of the way, let's begin and let's do this. Get ready with me and get some makeup on my face. I'm going to start with the TATCH SPF, and I know the official name is the Silk Sunscreen, but I just call it the TATCH SPF. It's broad spectrum SPF 50 PA++++. I really like this SPF for two reasons. It has actually what I consider like the European or Asian standard of SPF, which I think is higher. SPF 50 is pretty high. I do love this TATCH because it's not only is it an SPF, I really use it as a primer. And for me, I'm just gonna start shaking it. It's hard for me to find primer that or SPF that I don't break out with. A lot of times I've tried SPF and they just haven't been a good for me because I think the chemicals, I don't know what it is, sometimes they just break out depending on what's in it. What I will say is I don't know if this is, I don't think this is white cast, non-white cast friendly. I think there is going to be a little bit of a cast. Yeah, you can see it here. There's definitely going to be a white cast. So if you're more melanated, I don't think this is, I just don't know if this is going to be okay for you. Let me know if you've tried this and you're more melanated than me, or if you ever seen reviews that it works for people with deeper complected faces. Okay, so next up, let's talk about this Sephora brush. This is the Pro Foundation 56, and I have an old Sephora brush that I was looking for, and I think I chucked it because it was the handle was totally gross. So I'm so glad that they have this kind of laminated handle now for the brushes. This is the size, it's pretty small. I do actually like synthetic fiber or synthetic hair for foundations just because I find them to be consistently less rough on my face. Sometimes with goat hair, and that's usually the one I use, and I'll just kind of pull any random goat hair or one here. Sometimes it can be prickly, and I think something with synthetic is that because it's synthetic, they have more control of like how it feels. I don't know what it is, but I have probably more synthetic foundation brushes than I do natural. So I've been wanting to try this Fenty Beauty skin tint, and I know this came out like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say, the Easy Drop blurring skin tint, and I wasn't convinced on skin tints, but I think the Lisa Eldridge one changed me. So I really like how light it is. I just never knew what skin tints were, so I just, you know, I think now I get it. Now I get why people were use skin tints, and I could see using this on days where I kind of want a light makeup or no makeup look, or I just don't need super amount of coverage because I'm having a more of a light makeup day. When I'm working from home, I usually don't use makeup, or I use light makeup, and I think this is a good alternative. So that is the packaging. I ended up getting shade 12, and I really hope this is the right shade. It might be a little bit too warm. I think I'm either an 11 or 12. In the matte foundation from Fenty, I used to be a 290, and I actually recently I just picked up the new Radiant Luminous foundation from Fenty, the lit foundation, and I picked up shade 295 and 300 because 295 is a new foundation shade, and I know I'm warmer than 290, so I went up and I'm gonna review that. So this is shade 12, light to medium coverage for all skin tones, blends and blurs to instant perfection, light as air. The thing about Fenty, and I have like a, you know, kind of a love-love, kind of conflicting kind of relationship with Fenty, in that I love how Rihanna changed the industry of beauty and just set the standard of like 50, 40, 50, or 60 being the number of foundation shades that companies really should have. And in terms of shade match, Fenty is probably consistently the best company for me for shade matching, and everything else I just kind of make it work, and I'm really hard to shade match. So I'm always looking for companies that have warm olive choices in their foundation or tint line, and I recently also got the About Face foundation, which has a couple warm olive undertones. I'll be trying that, and I also want to try the Glossier Stretch Foundation. I also heard there's some warm olives in there. So this is number 12, and this is 1.08 fluid ounces, and the Lisa Eldridge is just 1 ounce. So it's pretty much comparable. It's really small. It's also plastic, very small, and these tend to be like very liquidy and concentrated. So this is shade 12. I'll go ahead and that's a nice match. It's a bit on the warm side, but that's okay. The things with skin tints is that they tend to be a little bit more forgiving. Okay, so I'm gonna do Lisa Eldridge T10. A lot comes out on that. So that's T10. It's definitely more neutral olive leaning, whereas the Fenty one is definitely more warm. And then I have here the Yummy Skin Tint from DANESSA MYRICKS in shade 7. And the nice thing about this, also small packaging, but you don't have to shake it because everything is like pre-mixed. This consistency is more gel-like, it's not as watery, and it does oxidize. So even though it looks light on my skin here, this product definitely will oxidize, because I have shade 8 and it's way too orange. Okay, so those are the tints that I just wanted to show you today. I actually have more, but these are like closest in consistency that I wanted to share. Fenty Easy Drop, shade 12, Lisa Eldridge T10, DANESSA MYRICKS Serum Tint, shade 7. And if I were just to go off of this on my skin here on my arm, it almost looks like this is the best one that blends into my skin, but again, it oxidizes, so it does turn a little orange. That's the DANESSA MYRICKS shade 7. Lisa Eldridge T10. And this is the Fenty Easy Drop 12. Alright, so I'm going to wipe that part off and reapply a little bit of that SPF back on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get some shade 12. I'll start there because I don't know if these are super pigmented, and I can always build up. And then using that Sephora brush, definitely have some acne and spotting down here. It doesn't cover it, it's pretty light coverage. It's a really nice shade match. So even though it looked a little too orange, it definitely, because it's a tint, it just has a lot more flexibility in the shade, in that it's like not super concentrated. Like when I spread this out on with this brush, it just kind of adjusts really in a way, a little more flexible. Lovely. I think this is a perfect shade match. I was a little afraid it was too warm to orange. I think we'll see if it oxidizes. What I did notice is I love the Lisa Eldridge skin tint and how it wears. What I did notice is that because, I mean, they do say it's like it has like flexibility, but it is pretty much neutral. So I've been, depending on what I'm using over my powders over that skin tint, it can look a little gray cast. So that's where the downside of it is, it doesn't have like an exact undertone match, that it's just, it can end up having the effect I don't want, which is that it looks a little ashy on me. And I'm not saying it always looks ashy, it's just depending on what I'm layering on top. I just can't put too much powder on it. You can see my acne scars and hyperpigmentation under here, so it's not going to cover that, but it's pretty good. Now it's like a year or two after this came out. I get why people like it. It's just really, it's easy. It's not fussy at all, and it's pretty light. What I'm gonna look for is that I do notice on my nose area, even with the primer, it kind of emphasizes my pores. A lot of times with foundations, a good marker for me is that if it's a good one is if it doesn't like well into my pores here. And I don't know if you can see, but to my naked eye, I can see that this foundation kind of settles into my pores, and the Lisa Eldridge one does not do that. And that has to do with the formula. I prefer this shade more, but I think I really like the formula of this. So, I'll continue to wear it, but that's shade 12 from Fenty Easy Drop. Ooh, the CALIRAY Corrector. Okay, I've been so curious about this. So this is CALIRAY Hideaway. Which shade did I get? Glowy Rays? Glowy Rays is the name, or the name of this shade. Okay, so here, I'll just show you the shade. And again, this isn't concealer, it's the corrector. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of these here. And I'm actually just gonna use the same brush. So why not? Let's see if we can use it. I'm just spreading this as the corrector. That's pretty good. I am like really tired. I'm so tired today. It's a Monday. And yeah, I'm just tired. Not bad. I don't know if it really corrected my darkness. I think for my undertone, I think it's almost like it needs a little bit more red. Let me go in a little bit more. It has, okay, this is supposed to be like a little bit more green, but sometimes I notice with things that are like marketed as green, sometimes like they're not supposed to have chemicals, but then it ends up having a weird smell. That definitely has like a little bit of a weird smell to it. I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm using a different brush because I want to give this concealer or corrector a fair shake. Okay, definitely had to put more on. It's very thin. So it almost feels like when I put it on and then spread it, that it disappears, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing. Okay, so that's the corrector, and I'm just gonna go ahead and, I don't know. We'll see. The true test will be when I use the actual concealer, which I'm gonna do now. So we're gonna segue to the Fenty concealer, We're Even concealer. And I already know that I really enjoy it. I'm not gonna say it's love, not yet. So it might be a slow falling in love with this product. I do, however, really enjoy it. This is probably some of the best concealers that I've tried in a long time. I like it, really like it, because it's very thin, it's not fussy, and it's like it has opacity and covering up what you need to cover, but it's not thick or super creamy. I don't like really thick or creamy or emollient concealers. This is very thin, and for what I need now in my life and stage of my eyes, this is like fitting the bill. The formula reminds me a lot of the Gucci concealer, but there was something in the Gucci concealer that I did not like, and I looked at the ingredients and I could smell it, that there was alcohol in the ingredient list of the Gucci. And then although it looked great on by like hour 2, it just started looking like it was drying out my eyes, and I think that had to do with the alcohol content. So the way I like to do my concealer is like I like to dot the more yellowy one underneath, and then the lighter one underneath for eye brightening. So I'm just gonna go in with this brush, same brush I used for the corrector. This is an okay brush for under eye. This is a Sonia G soft concealer. I'm just gonna go use some on my lids as well. And then I'm going to grab, to give it a fair shake, I want to use my newly washed Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty brush. When there's another sale for BK Beauty, I'm definitely going to pick up another one of these brushes. I love it. It's probably my most used under eye concealer brush. For a while it was the Sonia G one. Oh, this one just booted that out. This is like the best concealer brush I've ever used. I actually saw that this might be being sold on Amazon, which I was so excited about. So good for her. Okay, so that's the concealer. I have to say that I don't think this CALIRAY worked well. So I have a bunch of like 2 or 3 other correctors. I use like the Becca Cosmetics one, the Natasha Denona, and the Live Tinted one, and they're like more orange based, and I think this one is, the color is too light and not red enough, and then the formula almost looks like it whisks away. Like, it's fine if it whisks away, but the pigment was whisked away. It's not terrible, but it's not doing what it needs to do, what I bought it for. Okay, it looks pretty good with this light skin tint. So far so good. I like this Fenty a lot because I feel like these are good concealers for a light makeup day, like for skin tints. I don't know if I would use these for a full coverage foundation. Like, I don't think I would use this with this one. So I ended up getting the Benefit Eyebrow. This is the Precisely My Brow in shade 6. And I love this. When I have time to do like more precise eyebrows, I love it. So that is the product. And I'll show a little bit of me doing my eyebrows, but not the whole clip because it's kind of boring to see me do my eyebrows. But what I like about this is that it just looks really natural and precise, and I think this is probably like one of the best eyebrow products on the market. Like, there's a reason why this is probably what Benefit is most known for, are the eyebrow products. Okay, and that's it. What I really like about this product is like it almost looks like I just didn't do my eyebrows. Like, my eyebrows are just like look good looking without much effort. And I like that it's, because it's so precise, I don't have to worry about overdoing my eyebrows. Sometimes I go into ham in the beginning, which is not where you're supposed to put it. You're supposed to put most of the pigment out here and start light in the front and then go deeper back here. Because if you make this too heavy in the front, it have the risk of looking too like serious. But this looks good. Gosh, it's such a great product. So good. Oh, I have the PRADA Dimensions and refill here. I didn't get the case because I didn't want to spend extra money. I got the case already. I paid a pretty penny last summer for the PRADA release, and it first came out in Europe, so I ended up picking up those products via Selfridges, and then it came stateside at the end of, I think, last year. Before I forget, I should do this. I ended up getting the Pat McGrath, what is this called? The Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. The under eye powder. And I got it in shade yellow, which is like my preferred under eye color, just because of my skin tone being warm olive. This is a really great color. I've been using the color Light, which is like a translucent one. It's translucent white. for the past couple months because I was waiting for the sale to buy the shade yellow. Such a great product, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of tamp this down. I'm using one of my favorite brushes in my collection. This is the SURRAT Grande brush. It's supposed to be for eyebrows, or sorry, eyeshadows, but it's just too big. I have hooded eyelids and it's just too big, but I just washed it. Oh my gosh, it's such a good brush because it looks like a candle wick and it's squirrel hair, so it just gets in the crevices. So soft. It booted out my Wayne Goss airbrush brush because it's just more precise in that candle wick shape. But also, legit, the Wayne Goss airbrush brush was falling apart, and I probably won't buy another brush of his again. I just don't like when, obviously, when you spend so much money on a brush and then it falls apart. Like, none of my other Japanese made brushes have fallen apart. Like, for sure the Wayne Goss has, yeah, those have fallen apart on me. And it's nothing worse than you're doing your makeup and then you find like pieces of like of the brush hair on your face. Is just, and you have to pick it off. It's just like the worst. Okay, so here is the refill, and I just keep it in here. It's not super convenient, but I'll buck up because I saved money and I'm not gonna buy a new case. What I'll do is, like, when I get to that critical mass of decluttering and letting go some eyeshadows, I do have some like Z palettes and empty magnetic palettes, and then I'll replace them and eventually put them in here. But for now, they are living in their original packaging. Love the PRADA packaging. Some people did not. I think it's really cool. It's really on brand. It's very sleek. I even love the brushes. Now, they're getting dirty because they're not in a case, but they're also just, here, let's take it off. They're square, and I love the whole design of what's going on here. I'm gonna try to do like a kind of like a smoky look, and it could turn out really cool or be really bad. I'm not sure. So we're just gonna try it. I'm going to put this all over my mobile lid, this taupe shade, and this is a Worker Pro. I'm just putting that all over the mobile lid here. And what's great about these PRADA eyeshadows is that pretty much 3 of the 4 are pretty basic colors that you can use every day, and then it has like a editorial pop shade that people are like, oh, I'm so afraid of it. Don't be afraid, because the thing is about these are colors that you can either use saturated or diffuse, and it's just kind of, you can use them in a light way. So I would say don't be afraid of the editorial shade, because I've used these in diffused ways, and it's so pretty. I love this entire formula. All right, so the taupe is on my mobile lid. What I'm going to do is take some of this shimmery shade here, just a tap of it, and then use that over here. Like a shimmer pop here, and then close to the lash line, I'm going to take, this is a Chikuhodo brush, eyeshadow brush. It's kind of got this soft tip, and I'm going into this plummy brown shade, and I want to use that to kind of see if I can build up like a smoky look here. Okay, that's it. I was just trying to do a really easy smoky eye with this. This is probably like the 3rd or 4th time I've used this quad in different ways, and I just love it. I love this entire eyeshadow dimensions collection. It's really inspired me to use eyeshadow in a creative way. I don't know, maybe it's the colors, maybe it's the shape of the palette. I'm not sure, but I love it. It's like a smoky, plummy color. Okay, and then when I put mascara and all that will come together. And I'm gonna ignore the the red today. I have other videos of that you can check out. On the fence if I should have bought this, quite honestly. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills ABH. What is this? The Highlighting Duo Pencil. So it has a matte side and a shimmer side. So here's the shimmer side, and then here is the matte side. And the idea is that it's supposed to be like a highlighting here, but I already put some. What I'm wondering I can do is the shimmer side that can use as like my inner corner, like highlight here. See how that looks? Not bad. It's a little bit sloppy. Like I have other products where it could like be more precise on the inner corner pop. That's not bad in a pinch. It doesn't have like a really big impact. All right, let me see if I can use it. So this shade here, I'm gonna actually put in my waterline to help me look a little bit more awake. I am so tired. This is, you know, you're tired if like you're just kind of like at the end of the day, and I'm just like, honestly, I'm looking forward to just going to bed. Okay, so that's this product. I don't know if this was a good buy. I just wanted to try it, and yeah, so far it's okay. I'll let you know in a review if I'm still using it or if it's worth buying, but I'm not overly impressed by it. It's just okay. I just filmed my review of the Chanel product here. Obviously I didn't buy this at the Sephora sale, and if you want to check out that review, I'll put that above and below. So this is the second time I'm using this product. They have a really strong Chanel smell, and usually it doesn't bother me, but I'm just not really attracted to this design. I think it doesn't look luxe to me. It looks a little bit cheap and chintzy. I just don't like the lines. I think they could have done better with the embossing. I think of embossing of like how Cool Dior does their embossing, and this doesn't like look really, I don't know, it's just like a preference thing. I just don't think it's all that great. But let me go into this bronzer with the Sonuji Niji Pro. Oh, before I do that, I forgot I did not powder down my face. I need to powder down my face because then this stuff is gonna skip on my face. So I have the tint, and I definitely feel like there's just a little bit of a tackiness. So I'm grabbing my Sisley loose powder, and this is Matte 2, and my Chikuhodo brush, Lunar New Year. Okay, so let me use the Niji Pro. I went into some of the bronzer here already. And I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, this is the deep rose gold color. Deep rose gold. Okay, and that is the bronzer. I think it's okay. I am not over the moon about this formula. I was hoping it would be a little smoother, or maybe a little bit more like the formula from the Les Beige Healthy Winter Glow collection. Yeah, I'm grabbing a different brush actually. I'm using a Chikuhodo Z8 brush. This is like a cheap brush. I want to see if goat hair versus squirrel hair has a better application. So I'm going into, again, just the center shade. And it is probably more pigmented than I need it to be, so it's nice to use a squirrel hair because then I don't have to worry about like laying down too much product. Oh, that's so much better. Highly recommend. Okay, so if you get one of these and it's like too pigmented, or you want more of a light diffused look, I'm going, you know, like probably gonna suggest you use a squirrel hair. Sorry for the clacking. I got my hoops on today. trying to look a little dressy. Okay. Definitely like this better with my scroll hair. It just glides more. I mean, there's something to be said about these Chikuhodo scroll hair brushes. They're my favorite for face brushes. Okay, that wasn't doing anything. Sorry, Niji Pro, you weren't doing anything for me with this formula. So I'm gonna go back in here with this Chikuhodo. Pretty. I think there's a learning curve for this, and maybe, I don't know if it's me or the formula or it's just the shade. Maybe that's not meant for me. I have to work a little harder to use this product, and that irks me a little bit for the price that I paid. It's $95. I'm kind of laughing at myself, but also like it's how I deal with it. I'm like, I had a lot of high hopes for this product, and I just don't want to have to work that hard for a product that for this price point. I took a squirrel hair brush. This is probably from Fluide Beauty. They had like some special where you paid a certain amount, and then out of the 5 they have, they will randomly pick one and send it. Going into this beautiful shade here, it's very red. It's like a warm rose color. I don't know if you can see, so I'm just gonna go gently here. And one thing I haven't tried yet is like swirling all these together and putting on my face. I'm a little afraid it's gonna look muddy. Okay, so I'm just putting the blush back here because it's pretty pigmented. Again, this is the deep rose gold, and if I were to guess, after like this is day 2 playing with this product, this is meant for the beauties who are tan deep. And there's actually one that's even like, what's it called, the deep mauve. There's 5 in this collection, and I love that there's actually 5 choices. So the fact that it's like too pigmented for me says that, because I'm like a medium tan, so it's gonna go in that like the in between medium to like deep complected beauties. I think this is gonna be really nice, because look at this highlight. Look at that highlight. It's too deep for me, but I think it's gonna look gorgeous on someone. What I'm gonna do is actually go into this really, really light. I'm just taking a fluffy number 16 brush from Wayne Goss, and because it's so pigmented, I just want to be really mindful and focused on where I put it. So this runs like a really orangey, at least on me, it shows up as an orangey warm gold. And I think I'm too light for this highlighter right now. Like when I get into summer with tan season, this palette will look so much better than it does in reality. So this is the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter. Okay, and it says it's silky smooth formula for a naturally radiant finish, effortless application, lightweight texture. And this is the shade Yum Rum 05. I've already tried this. This has a lot of silicone in it, and I think this color is beautiful. Again, actually it reminds me of the shade I just put on. Oh my god, totally, that's what it is. Actually it's a bit lighter. So this is Yum Rum, and this is the one from the deep rose gold. I prefer this shade more. It's going to be more flattering for me, but I'll show you in a second. I don't prefer the formula, but maybe I'll make it work. Let me see. I'm going to grab, instead of using a big brush, I'm going to use a fluffy squirrel hair brush, because on people, on the social media networks, it looks like not a beaming highlighter, but on me it's too beamy, at least for what my preference is. So I'm taking a squirrel hair brush, tapping it, and I'm just using it just in a focused way, because I don't really like beaming highlights. And then this is a Wayne Goss squirrel hair brush. Oh, that's so much better. It's definitely more flattering than this. I feel like this is the wrong tone for me. It definitely looks like I can see more of my pores with this one, but this is really pretty. Okay, let me know beauty fam, because I gotta know if I gotta return this if I'm not gonna use it. But if you like how this looks, let me know. It is pretty. Does it show my pores? It does a little bit. It reminds me of the closest to like a gel formula without being gel. I think there's just like probably a lot of silicone in this product is what I'm gonna guess. Okay, so that's the Fenty Yum Rum. I'm gonna do my mascara and then come back. So I finished my eyes with the Chantecaille Luster Glide eyeliner with the shade Amethyst. It's kind of like this purpley mauve smudgy eyeliner, and I kind of smoked it out more, and then I finished with the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash Mascara. I've been loving that mascara so much. Okay, so we're down to the final lipstick that I'm going to show you. I ended up also getting Makeup by Mario, which I demoed in my 2 other videos, so I don't want to do that. The last lipstick I haven't shown yet is the Gucci Mona Leslie Cameo. It's this beautiful color. It's like a rosewood brown. This one here. And so I'm gonna line my lips with the Lisa Eldridge Decade. Okay, so that is Decade. Ooh, such a beautiful look. This is the lip oil, the color Taupe. I'm laughing because it's a little sticky. I'm just taking some of that. And I've created quite a vampy makeup look for this Sephora haul video, or at least get ready with me. Okay, so beauty fam, let me know what you think of this final look. That lipstick is very like vampy. I like it a lot. Okay, so beauty fam, tell me what you think of this final look of Get Ready With Me of my hauled items from Sephora. And then remember to subscribe, comment, and like below. And as always, please be very kind with yourself and others, and just be you. Until the next video, beauty fam, take good care. Bye.